What's good with it? He's Greg. I'm your boy Robert. We are the All Out of Fucks podcast. We back in the building. We back at it, man. What's good with you? How you been?
Man, chilling. It's been a long week. I'm just trying to get my mind right. If I sound like my energy level is down, literally, it has been a very long week at work, and like I said,
Damn, it's Tuesday.
I know that's saying a lot for me right now. I mean, I've done probably. I mean, let's just go from Saturday to now. I've probably done 52 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's been multiple long days when everybody was asleep and I'm still working, trying to gear up for these shows that we had coming up this weekend. And it's just so much going on. So much going on. So I'm gonna get my energy up, but
Shit, you sound like me. Look, Sunday. So we had our birthday parties. My youngest son's birthday was on Wednesday. Then we had his party, a little party. It's just my in-laws on Saturday, and Sunday my oldest birthday. Dude, let me tell you something. Like it was like when Sunday rolled around, like me and the wife were exhausted, like
right.
done, like because it was a lot. Like we both took off Wednesday, so we could spend time with our youngest, and then the Friday they were kind of kicking in. Thursday, I mean Saturday also was a party day. And like at the end of that night, the youngest was like, it was his day. It was always like, how your first time you go to Vegas and
Yep.
you go too hard. That's
Uh-huh.
that's how his shit was. Like I went way too hard. I'm tired. Like he
Right.
was done. And the oldest, like it was bananas too. Like because of course the wife wanted to set shit up and she wanted to decorate shit differently, right? So like Saturday was an Elmo theme. Speaking of, so she hired an Elmo to
Oh
come.
shit.
And it wasn't as bad as you think it was. I think I posted some pics on
Okay.
social media, but first of all, like the person called us that morning, like, hey, what do you want me to do as far as I can usually sit with the kids or I can take pictures, So we in pandemic, we like fuck, we don't want you to touch nobody. Like
Right. Don't touch anybody.
you can just you can just come and sing your shit and keep it moving. Let's go,
Right.
Elmo. So the person gets there and it sounded like a dude on the phone. My wife is talking to him, and then it gets there's a chick getting ready outside down the street. And I know it was weird to the neighbors because some chick in a whatever car she was driving in this fucking half Elmo suit, putting her Elmo hat on and shit. They were probably like, "What the fuck is going on out here?"
Right.
And like, so I'm like, "Oh, okay." He probably just sent like somebody else in his business because he's like, well, they ain't gonna do shit but sing and dance, so I ain't gotta worry about doing all the extra shit. Some
Right.
easy money. So I was like, all right, whatever. But so this chick walks up. First of all, she sounds like she smokes a pack of cigarettes a second. Like, like, or are you the dad?
Miss
Is
Jerry.
this,
It's Miss Jerry.
is this where the Elmo's supposed to be? And so
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, oh shit. Like, so I was like, oh, so you're the person that we talked to? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. Like,
Oh
sound
fuck.
like she smoked so many cigarettes. She sounded like a guy on the phone, but she was all right. I mean, she danced and she did some songs. And so, so amazingly, the youngest one was not tripped out. He loved the shit. He was like, oh, this shit's amazing. Like almost off my TV in my backyard.
Right.
Now the oldest initially was like, "Oh, Elmo," because he can talk and shit. Like Elmo, I'm like, "Yeah, it's Elmo." And then like she broke character a lot because I guess she assuming since the 1 year old is the one she's there for, she
Right.
just kind of used a regular voice. I think it tripped the oldest one out because he was like, because initially he was excited about it. Then he just went over. We had like a little bouncy thing, like a little bouncy like castle thing, and he just went and sat in that. I was like, "Hey man, you don't want to come over here?" He's like, "Nah," and
You know.
I feel like he was like, "Something ain't right about that shit." Like something is not right about this raggedy ass Elmo. Why does this Elmo talk like an adult? Like,
You know what he did? You just scarred him for life. It's like when you go see Santa and shit for the pictures, and then you just see Santa in the back with his beard off, smoking a pack of Newports.
that probably like I think it tripped him out because he was not on it. Like he would not come over for shit. He was like, nah, I'm good. Like he wasn't like scared. He was just looking like, I don't know what this bullshit is, but this
That
ain't
ain't
it.
Elmo, fucking Elmo.
That ain't fucking Elmo. Like you almost got me, but that's not fucking Elmo. Like Elmo's on TV sound totally different than that raggedy smoke cigarette voice.
Come on,
Hey, I'm
kid.
Elmo. If you're
Come on.
happy, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Like, what the fuck?
This is DMX. So it wasn't that bad. I mean, she did a decent job. So the 1-year-old loved the shit. He was like, "Oh, this shit's amazing." He just doesn't understand shit yet. So, but we were fucking exhausted by Sunday, and it was. I'm still recovering. I mean, I'm recovering because it's just because. So that was Saturday. Set the Elmo shit up, and that morning, and then of course, we changed themes completely for the next day for the 3-year-old to a construction theme. It was just all fucked up. Like we started to set up a little bit and we were like, fuck it, we'll just wake up early. And of course we tried to sleep in and the youngest one gets up earlier than usual. So we're scrambling all day Sunday to get everything together. Like, and I mean they both cleaned up, obviously birthday wise. Like they bought we got them ridiculous shit. Like they're spoiled because we fucking spoil them. But fuck it, it is what it is.
That's hilarious.
That almost shit had me dying though.
Oh yeah, because I mean, he was literally that's that deductive reasoning and all that just triggering in his head. He like,
but he's never gone for these live characters. Like we took him around when he was 1, when we were before pandemic, and we were checking out daycares, trying to figure out where to take him. The daycare we decided on, they had like a open house, and Curious George was there or some shit, life size Curious George. So we're like, oh, hey, come sit, because he had a Curious George book. We're like, he wasn't on Curious George at all. He's like, nah, fuck that shit. That shit's weird. Like this big ass fucking monkey. Like it's different when it's on TV.
Wait, you want to know something funny as shit? So when my daughter was younger, Hannah Montana was her thing. So literally, she was Hannah Montana at everything. We had to get her the Hannah Montana guitar and the whole 9 yards. Well, apparently Miley Cyrus just did like a concert or something, and she had on a Hannah Montana shirt and ripped the shirt off. And my daughter, she like 23 years old. She felt some sort of way with that shit. She was like, why she ripped that shirt off? Hannah Montana's the shit.
Yeah, Hannah Montana is fast out here now in these streets.
Yeah, she straight up felt some sort of way. She was like, but I don't understand why she ripped the shirt off. She had to rip the Hannah Montana shirt off. I'm like,
she went on that shit.
Yeah, she ain't on that shit no more. She like, hey.
Miley done gone all the way left.
Oh yeah. Man, it was just funny. I mean, it does stuff to kids, like certain shit that they grow up with, and it just scars the fuck out of them. I mean, when my parents still lied to me about Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, when they
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you have kids, no kid. Right.
Well, you don't know who listen to this motherfucker. I know folks who got kids be listening to shit with their kids. So like full disclosure, okay.
Yeah, take your kids out the room.
Some childhoods are about to be shattered right now.
Yeah. So when my parents lied to me about Santa, I don't know what I thought, but I guess I was probably about 4 or 5. I just remember going in the kitchen during Christmas break, and I don't even know why I went under these cabinets, because I never really go under the cabinets. And I mean, they probably knew that shit too, and that's probably why they put the shit there. But like most of my Christmas presents was under this one cabinet in the kitchen, and I opened that damn door, and like some of them were wrapped and some of them weren't. Like my Tonka truck wasn't wrapped yet, but there was some other shit, and it was like from Santa, and I'm like, wait, Christmas ain't till next week. Why would he show up now? So I had questions. So I immediately go to my father and go, does Santa come any other day except for Christmas? And my daddy was like, no, he shows up on Christmas and he gives you all the toys. And I'm like, so does he like forget and gives you more presents and you just keep them? And he's like, what the hell? No, that doesn't make sense. Boy, what's wrong with you? And I just like, so there's some stuff under the cabinet there in the kitchen. And he was like, you been in the kitchen? Yeah, I've been. So he goes, hold on, and he goes somewhere and gets my mama, and they go in their room, and the door is closed, and it's closed for a minute, and then they both come out, and they was like, sit down.
Yeah, they was trying to figure out how to approach that one.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of probably finger pointing too, like
who the fuck? I told you not to. I told you not to put that bullshit over there. I told you not to put it over there, and I'm gonna put it over there anyway. Right. Look, you done ruined the little motherfucker's childhood. Like, you go talk to his ass.
Right. He in there asking me motherfucking questions. So yeah. So it was just. So they sat me down. And it was like, okay, so Santa doesn't really exist. Yada yada yada. And I was like, well, if that's the case, why go through? Like, I had the wherewithal to go, okay, then you could have just told me you got presents. I could have had another list for you. Like, I'm asking Santa for stuff that I don't think you can afford. If that's the case, I could have just gave you my list. This is what I really want. And from that moment on, I'm like, yeah, you getting Christmas lists every month. Go ahead and just call that what it is. This is what I want. So. But yeah, it ruined me.
So Santa Claus, I found out just it was uneventful. My cousin just fucking ruined it for me. She was like, there ain't no Santa Claus. So she must have found out. It was like, fuck it, I'm about to ruin your shit too. Like, right. What do you mean there's no Santa Claus? So I remember went to my father and my mother like, Elena says there's no Santa Claus. And they was like, I was like, what do you got to say about that? My dad looked like he said, Elena's right. Ain't no Santa Claus. I mean, I appreciate it. Like, he was just honest, like, fuck it. There's not one.
Right.
Because apparently I was like, do I still get gifts? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, let's see
it. That shit's funny as hell. And then at the end of the conversation, they go, well, don't tell your friends. And I'm like,
I don't know if they even told me that. I mean, they probably did fuck at that point. Like, but.
Yeah, they told me don't tell my friends, and I immediately called my cousin. I was like, guess what?
You believe this shit?
There's no
this motherfucker is not even real.
And what made it so bad, my cousin, they Jehovah's Witnesses. So he was like, I could have told you that. Right. I'm like, wait, you knew? Yeah, it shook me for a little bit, but then after that, I was just like, okay, whatever.
my nephew for years, so we would before I was married and date my wife, I would always go to Chicago for Christmas, right? I always be up in Chicago Christmas time. That was my tradition. So I go up, see my nephew, my sister, brother-in-law, everybody. And so every year my nephew would always want to get on, like, they have like NORAD does like the track Santa Claus shit where you can see it on the map online.
Yep.
I'll never forget one year. He was like, so he didn't understand the concept of time zones.
Okay.
So like he saw Santa hit the East Coast, right? And we in Chicago, and the way the map looks, it's like, oh shit, he right there. Like, basically he's just a little bit away from Chicago. And like, so he was tripping out, he was losing his shit. He said, I gotta go in bed. Santa Claus is close and I don't want to miss his gifts. So we're like, all right. So I'm in there talking to my sister. We just chopping it up. And, we laughing and cackling and whatever like that. And he's like, can you guys please keep it down? I can't go to sleep. If I don't go to sleep, Santa Claus is not going to come. I'm not going to get any gifts. And Santa Claus is in New York. I was like, first of all, time zones like mean that he's got to go up and down the time zone. You have plenty of time. Now you've gone to bed too early. So
right.
Sounds like a personal problem.
And he said, "I go time zones.
Right.
What's a time zone?"
Lesson learned. But that's it. I imagine the Santa Claus debate is a big one, like for couples, because it was for us. Like, matter of fact, that shit thing came up in like some couples counseling or some shit like that. Like, Santa Claus, like, how are you going to approach that? But it's a serious question. Like,
yeah,
you legitimately have to talk about how you're going to approach Santa Claus or all this made up bullshit. And so, my philosophy is this: like, I'm not going to necessarily. I want kids to enjoy their childhood just as much as the next person. But if our sons ask us, I'm not going to lie to them.
That's what I was about to say. You got to tell them. If they 10 to 1, when children start asking you questions, they've already started figuring the shit out. They don't
Right.
just blindly ask you these questions
Right.
because they
But
have
I'm
no reason to,
right. So
So
if he straight up, and actually how I'll probably approach it is, if they ask me, I'll be like, go ask your mama, because I know she wants to. I think she wants to keep the innocence alive for as long as possible. I have no problem with just hey, let's figure this shit out, right?
right.
But so I'll be like, hey, go tell me what your mama says.
Yeah,
So
because all that stuff starts to, I mean, it just starts coming out, and you just start thinking, yeah, wait a minute, we don't have a chimney. Like shit that you normally should have thought about in the first fucking place. You just like, yeah, we don't have a chimney. Y'all leave the door open. No, I know you don't leave the door open. This is Southside Chicago. This is the Wild Hunteds. Hold on. How does he get in here? And quite frankly, how does he eat the food? And I don't hear any of that. Like it just started rolling. So once that came out, I was like, cool, whatever. Y'all give me the presents. That's cool. But then I go back to school, man, and I'm just hearing all these and Santa got me this and Santa got me that. And I'm just like, huh, okay. So your
see,
parents ain't tell you yet, huh?
see how we do Santa is, so the gifts that are wrapped from us, and the
Mhm.
gifts that aren't wrapped are from Santa, which is easier that way. I mean, so we can just put
Gotcha.
them bitches out the night of, like fuck it.
Right. See, and I should have learned that damn lesson. I spent, I mean, damn near 10 years of my kids' life literally trying to wrap all these presents. Because the thing is, they some snoops and they nosy as shit. So either I have to leave the presents in other people's houses,
Bluetooth
or
disconnected.
does that mean that's
That's me.
probably
That's me.
okay? Yeah, I had to leave them in other people's houses, or I literally had to wrap that shit the night before. And I'm gonna tell you this much: as you get older, you go, fuck, I gotta wrap all this shit the night before. So I get them in the bed, I bring the shit in the house, I get it hidden in the closet, and I'm sitting there, a grown man sitting in the goddamn closet trying to wrap presents fucking quietly. Now everybody know wrapping paper loud as fuck. Ain't no quietness about a goddamn wrapping paper. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, let me be quiet. And then I thought about it. I'm like, these motherfuckers 10 years, man, look, I ain't all right. I put that shit out and I was like, I'm done. I can't keep sneaking around. This is ridiculous. And I knew they knew because I knew they went to school and was like, ain't no damn Santa Claus. So I didn't ever have to have the conversation with them. But they was just like, yeah, we just thought that was your thing. So we let you do what you do. I'm like, man, bump that. Next year, look, tell me what you want. And if it show up the night of or the day before or the week before, like if it show up before, you just can't open it till Christmas. How about that? Because I got shit to do. I got a job. I ain't got time to be sitting here in the night because it was like Christmas Story. The dad, the way the dad in Christmas Story was sitting there trying to wrap these damn
Yeah,
presents and shit.
yeah. This is real life, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's either that or you putting the shit together the night before. Like
Oh, that's
we
the worst shit
we
too.
did that shit with these. So that's what we just did for their birthday. So for the oldest, we basically got him like this excavator sandcastle, and then we also bought him like a Power Wheel like Jeep, like a real one. Like so I had to put that fucking Jeep together myself. Like
They
so
say,
you
yeah,
gotta do it late. You're like, fuck, man. Like I'm sitting here putting the Jeep together while I'm watching TV and shit. Wife's like, all right, see ya. I'm going to sleep. Like, fuck.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. They go to bed, and
Every time.
you sitting up there with this damn big ass manual and shit on step 4 of a
Right.
200 step process.
Right.
And
Every time.
you sitting there
Always
like,
putting shit
what is this? Okay, I need this. What size bolt? 2 1/4. Which one's 2 1/4? Because you done ripped the package open. So all the shit that was written on the package that said this is the 2 1/4 bolt. This is the 1/2 inch bolt. This is
No,
the
I'm good about that shit now. Like I'm good about that shit. Like
yeah.
I'd have made too many mistakes in the past to the point where I know I open that shit very carefully so I know to label that shit, know everything's at.
Yeah.
I'm very big on following the directions because nothing I hate more than trying to piece some shit together and then get to step 25 and realize you done put some of them pieces on backwards which don't make no sense to me. Like, why would you design a product that can be put together in multiple different ways?
Right. Right.
Now, fortunately, this new kid shit like Fisher Price, most of their shit involves just basic shit putting it together. But every once in a while, like you order some shit off of Amazon, it's probably from like the hood of North Korea, and you get it, and this shit is like they got all types of unnecessary shit. Like you're like, damn, you gotta meld this together, you gotta weld this, make sure you got like the fuck, man.
Get some Gorilla Glue. You're like, I don't even have Gorilla Glue. What the fuck?
Nothing worse than getting like way down the line on some shit, not being able to adjust it. Fortunately, that actually kind of happened on the Jeep. Fortunately, I was able to kind of fix some shit because the directions were fucking terrible, first off. So like the suspension on the Jeep, it didn't tell you, it just didn't explain how you're supposed to set up the suspension. I figured this shit out, like, oh, okay, that's why this shit keep doing this. But unfortunately, I didn't have to take shit apart to do it. But I was like, that's some bullshit. Y'all could have been a lot clearer.
See, and y'all hear him? Y'all listening to him? He said the suspension on the Jeep. This man is sitting here doing a custom build car.
Right. I'm building a fucking car, man. Like, you see this motherfucker, I'm gonna send it to you. Like, I'm gonna send you a picture of what this shit look like. It's legitimate, like, it's one of those, it's a remote control joint, so he can ride it, and eventually as he gets older he can drive it. But like right now we can remote control it and he can ride in the shit. He's got a seatbelt. Like he looking fly as shit. You know what it reminds me of? You remember on Back to the Future when Marty comes back after shit's all fixed and he's got that car he didn't know he had? It looks just like that joint. Like that's how he rolling around in fucking Jeep. I was like, it's like you gonna be fly out here, but he wasn't too pressed. All he wanted to do is sit in that bitch and listen to music.
Just like he go, just like grown folks. That's the
right.
That's the first thing I did in mine.
Look, you know, I was like, because I hooked the MP3 up, and one of his favorite songs is "Life Is a Highway" from Cars. Don't ask, but so I just had that shit playing. He was just like, I said, you want to drive? Like, give me one day to take you around. He's like, no. So you just want to sit and listen to music? He said, yes. I was like, all right, dude. All right.
Hey, he's sitting there just like, I gotta check the sound system out. You know what I found out the other day, and I mean, I was this years old when I found that out. So the 530, right? You can wave your finger and turn up the volume. I was in that bitch like a 10-year-old.
What?
Wave in the 530. Yeah, you can wave your finger, turn up the volume. I'm sitting in there for about 15 minutes in the garage, just waving my finger around, turning up the volume, turning it back down. I'm like, this don't make no sense.
Nothing like finding a feature in your car that you didn't know was there. Like
you just have no idea. So I was just like, okay, but so that's what he wanted to do. He was like, I just want to sit in this joker, listen to my music. When I'm ready to move, I'll move. I'll go. But yeah, man, it's a trip though. So here's the thing. Because now I'm reminiscing. It's so much in your childhood that just pops in your mind every once in a while that you just go, where'd that damn memory come from? I remember when I got my first bike, and my father had to put it together because here's the story. They were gonna get me a bike for my birthday. I already knew what my birthday present was. There used to be a toy store on Western called Ed's Toys, and that's where I got all my toys from. Yes, people, you actually bought toys from a toy store. You didn't go to fucking Walmart. You went to a fucking toy store. They
didn't close Toys R Us and shit.
Like, that's what I was about to say. They had big chain toy stores. They were like, Toys R Us was the big chain. Child's World was another big chain toy store. But Ed's Toys was like a local mom and pop toy store, and we just get all my shit from there. My mother bought me like this. She bought me like this Big Bird. You pull the string and shit, and Big Bird say some shit. I used to snap the fucking string all the time. And so she would go back and give me another
over aggressive ass, like, Big Bird.
Talk, bitch.
like that mean ass boy on Toy Story that be like taking body parts off the fucking toys.
Right.
Put them on different shit.
I knew I was getting a bike. So Saturday come around, and I remember remember my father saying this. He was like, "They will build the bike there, put the bike," and we had a giant ass fucking Buick. So this back in the day when they were still making cars out of steel, damn near. It was a big ass giant Buick that you could put a damn mob body in the back of the trunk. So he was like, they will build it there, just pick up the bike out and talk to Ed and blah 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 blah. She come back with a fucking box. And I remember my father just staring at her and that box like, I told you.
Probably because she didn't want to wait for it. And she's like, fuck it, he can put it together. Right.
He had this look like, I hate you.
Right. Like, I ain't about to put this shit. This is the same shit, dude. Like, same thing with the fucking sandbox. My wife brought home, like, luckily it wasn't hard to put together, but like, I'm fucking like, God damn, I gotta put this shit together. She's like, you put it together yet? Like, and there's nothing you're not gonna do for your kids, right? But
right.
Still, I mean, I'm looking at right now. Where we record the show here. I share the area. I got like a man cave / kids fucking Chuck E. Cheese, and like so, the last Christmas we bought the older one this big ass fucking like train set, like not an automated one, just like a little town. Like
right.
Shit is big as fuck, man. Like so, I obviously I had to one of those nights had to come down here and put that shit together. Like shit was bananas. Like I'm gonna have to take a picture of that and send it to you too. Like it's off the fucking chain. Like it's the amount of stuff as a man I've put together on my own.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a treadmill down here, like a commercial grade treadmill.
Right.
Don't ask me A, how I got that bitch down here by my damn self. B, how I was able to put together a treadmill that requires 2 people. This was like during the middle of the pandemic. Like it works fine, but like that shit, like it's amazing the shit you kind of work out. Like the instructions clearly tell you 2-person job.
Right.
But you trying to get shit done and wife doing some other shit. Like fuck it, let me just get this shit done. But
you sitting there with a Nordic track.
Right. Real talk. It's a commercial grade joint, though. It's heavy as fuck. Like it's you had to channel your inner Hebrew strength on that shit. Like you're like, oh, you're like, this is how they put together the pyramids. Okay.
You sitting there like, I need some rope.
Right. Like, oh, okay. It wasn't aliens. They just were probably husbands that their wives told them to build some shit. And they're like, I don't have enough people. They're like, figure this shit out. Oh, the pyramids, science, math,
and don't put a hole in my wall.
Right. Have the nerve to look at you even sideways and scratch anything. Like, all right, fuck it. This shit happened. Deal with it.
Yeah, I sat there one time we moved because like I said, my job had me move multiple cities. One time we moved and it was just as an opportune time to move, and I couldn't get anybody to help me, and my wife was pregnant, and I remember like we had this big armoire type shit up in the bedroom, and I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get this thing down the fucking stairs? And I remember getting it to the edge of the stairs, and it was like that old Tom and Jerry shit where the piano came down. I was sitting there trying to figure this shit out, and I'm like, this motherfucker. And I was like, hey, if it started to go, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not trying to stop it. And I remember I had some rope, and I leaned it back, and I tried to slide it down the carpet, and that joker started to go, and I just remember it going down the stairs, and it hit the wall, and she was like, "Did you scratch the wall or something?"
Did I scratch the wall?
Like, woman, there's a hole in this wall.
Hopefully, it's just a scratch. Shit.
That's just a hole in this fucking wall. She was like, how'd you do that? Let me see. I don't know. Gravity, motherfucker.
I'm trying to move this massive ass fucking armoire that probably 28-year-old like brought this shit in before.
Right. Oh, that shit, boy. I was like, I'll be right back. I went over to Menards and got the shit. The drywall shit and patched the hole and all that shit. And she was like, is it gonna look the same? I was like, if I sand it and paint it, it'll be fine. But she didn't ask me, "Are you all right?" She was like,
Right.
"Did you do something to the wall?" No, see, this is what I'm talking about.
I, yeah, I mean, I've moved so much shit. Like, I will never move myself or anybody else ever again. It's never gonna happen. Like, I work and earn a living, so I don't have to do shit like that anymore. Like,
I just moved my daughter. I literally, I literally
nah,
just
man.
moved my daughter, and I sat there and said, "Well, shit, I got help now. My son's 17,
Nah,
and
dog.
my
That's my. You need to pay some. That's money well spent. Like, trust
well,
me.
yeah, I learned that because I think I fucked up my rotator cuff. Now I just will
See,
tell you that.
see,
I'll tell
like,
you, and the only reason I did that shit is because here I am thinking, okay, my son's 17, and he got this weird fucking strength. He's always had this weird damn strength.
mhm.
The 21-year-old had just got his wisdom teeth pulled, so he can't lift shit. He's out. So he's like, Dad, I'll help, but my wisdom teeth. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know about that shit now, right? You're like, oh, my teeth, I can't do shit. I was like, all right. I said, let me get the 17-year-old. And I said, okay, yeah, he got that weird old man strength. He don't even know his own strength. This is gonna be easy. We get there and we bringing the bed and the dresser and shit down, and all of a sudden that Negro don't know how to lift nothing. And I remember we coming down. I was like, I'll go first. That way you can lean the weight on me. All you gotta do is keep your end up. We'll go slow. And halfway down, he's like, my wrist. Motherfucker.
Hey,
Mother-
look, there's nothing worse when the motherfucker you're moving shit with is like, oh wait a minute, hold on.
I was like, yo, wrist. I was like, Nick, okay. And I remember I grabbed it with my left hand to try to keep the shit balanced and fucked up my rotator cuff. He was like, oh, I don't know, Daddy. I just felt a twinge. I'm like,
but
twinge?
but the worst is when a motherfucker don't tell you some shit's about to go wrong. They be like, because they'll be like, wait a minute,
Next thing
like
you know,
what
that
do you,
shit just drops.
like that happened. I don't know what me and my wife were moving. We are moving something, and and the hard part about it is when you're trying to move with somebody who don't understand the angles of shit. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
if you and I were to go move some shit, it'd be probably some quick work. Like,
Right.
like when you have a very limited space to kind of move some shit through a door, you got to basically do everything continuous, like
Right.
lift, angle it, move all at the same time because you don't have much room to just do all
Right.
individual
And you ain't got
stages.
nowhere to rest it. Yeah.
Right. So like, but something happened, like, I think it might have just been a mattress or a box spring, like from our new bed. We had like a super California king joint,
Right.
and like mattresses are awkward as fuck, especially going up the wrong type of steps.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just something happened. She's like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta adjust. Wait, I'm like, what do you mean you gotta adjust? Hold on, I'm at the bottom of the shit. Like, what you mean you gotta adjust? Like, just hold on a minute. Like,
Man,
it's
like
not,
it ain't no hold on. I got the bottom of this bitch
right.
and I'm trying to lift it.
And you learn how to just hold on, dog. Like, there's nothing worse when somebody's like either something went wrong, something hurt. You like, oh, I'm about to die.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say when they sit there, go, you got it.
Right,
What do you
right.
mean?
Yeah,
What do you mean by
that
that?
that is the statement too. Like, are you okay? You got it down there? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I got. What you mean? What's going
yeah.
on?
What's happening up on the other end? I can't see you. What do you mean? Do I have it? So yeah, man. So I literally, like I said, my shoulder ain't been the same. It's been about 2 weeks. I know when I go do my annual physical here in the next couple of weeks, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, can we get some X-rays?
Right.
just because, just checking. I'm old enough now to not sit there and be in pain for no fucking reason. That young man shit where you're like, oh yeah, my shoulder's fine. I'll shake that shit off. Fuck that. Look at this shit and see what's wrong with me, please. I can't sleep on my left side. I need your help.
Right.
So it's just weird shit, man. Weird fucking shit.
That's
Man.
funny though. Like for real. Like the moving shit. I'm never again. I'm always paying somebody for that shit. Matter of fact, like last time we packed ourselves before we came in this house, I'm not even doing that shit no more. Like I'm paying somebody to pack the boxes. Fuck it.
Yeah. See, when I came back to work at Purdue, they were like, "Oh yeah, we got the moving relocation package and all that." And so I was like, "All right, what I got to do? Pack up the stuff. Somebody come pick it up." They was like, "No, no, no, no. They'll come out. They'll box it up. They'll blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but
I'm
black people
I,
don't. They don't like people in their shit. Like, what you mean?
right. I was like, "Who are these people?" When
They
you
gonna be in
say,
my shit.
"Yeah, who are these people coming to my house?" and can you give me the names and social security numbers? Maybe I don't know. But no, they came out. Was it? It was four of them, because we were out in Delaware or some shit, and it was it was four of them that came out, and one of them was the actual semi driver for Mayflower. So he's the person we were going to see at the other end,
Mm-hmm.
and they came out, and he was like, okay, so we have all the stuff to pack you up. We got extra boxes and packing, and so all we need to know is the rooms and what
Right,
you don't
right.
want to take. And I literally stood there and was like, "Don't take that, and that, and that. This is the kitchen. Don't take this is the living room." And I kid you not, they was in and out. Shit was on the damn truck, and he was like, "All right, we'll see you in a couple of days." I'm like, "Bet."
That's easy shit right there.
Right,
Like, hey,
right. I'm like,
you,
good shit.
that's a convenience is some of the best money spent. I'll tell you right now,
Yeah, yeah.
every single
And
time.
I drove from there, and that was like a 13-hour drive. So I was like, okay, we just got some blankets. We're gonna sleep on the floor. We're gonna make it a game for the kids or whatever. Empty house, whatever, and we just gonna drive there. And I kid you not, we got there. He shows up maybe 4 hours after we got there. I'm like, bet.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. He was like, okay. He had a different set of folks on the other end in West Lafayette, and they just dropped it where we wanted, sofas and all. I'm like, you gonna put the bed together? Bet.
Right. Because ain't nothing worse than when you move yourself and you gotta put your shit together at the new spot.
Yeah. Oh
That's why
yeah.
that's how you end up just sleeping on the floor. Like, fuck it, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
gonna put this mattress on the floor real quick.
right. I'll get to this shit because dude, I've moved. Other than that time, I've moved each and every time. So it's to the point where it's like I got it down to a science, and that's the one time where I don't take nobody's shit and nobody's suggestions. I'm like, you not gonna fucking do this shit. I don't want to hear your fucking mouth. We getting up at 7 a.m. and this is what the fuck is gonna happen. If you in my way, you gonna get moved out of my way. I ain't got time for all this bullshit. Well, why don't you just sit there and let me just go ahead and do this because you're not gonna help. And
Right.
like it's just it goes quicker that way. For me, it literally goes quicker that way. So
I feel that shit. You ain't, I pay for that shit. And whoever's listening, spend that money. Save up. Do what the fuck you got to do. Spend the money. Have somebody move you, pack you, all that shit. You can call that elitist, bougie. I don't give a fuck. Like shit is well spent money.
right, and if you don't want to do it, okay, say, and I mean a good move like that, that's like 3,800 bucks, something like that. If you look at that price tag and go, I don't want to pay 3,800 bucks. Fuck it, leave all your shit there and buy 3,800 bucks of new shit.
Right.
If that's the case, price out your bed and shit, and be like, okay, somebody getting a bed, and somebody getting a dresser, because I'm about to go buy some shit that they can drop off and deliver. Fuck it.
Yeah, I will leave some shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. That's one of those things of being a man and being a father that no one can quote unquote explain to you as a young
Nah,
man.
no.
You got to live that shit, that type of shit, and the long drives to Mississippi and all that shit can't be explained to you.
Right. Like, there's nobody to lean on.
No,
Like it
it's
don't
you.
matter. Like you got to get that shit accomplished. It
Yeah.
don't fucking matter. Real quick, I wanted to talk to you. So have you been? So I was watching this shit. So this white girl that went missing and everybody is losing their mind over. Um,
Mhm.
Gabby Petito.
Okay.
Have you been watching the news on this shit?
No,
Probably
I've seen a little bit of it. I ain't focused on it because
I
I was like, it's
I
another white girl missing.
right. I haven't either, but I think the reason why I want to talk about it a little bit because I was just like trying to figure out what is always the infatuation with these white women that go missing, like, and we know, but like sisters go missing, black folks go missing, Hispanics go missing, and it's just all right. But like there's this infatuation. It's like, yeah, it sounds like she went missing and her fiance killed her and he's missing in action, or somebody got a hold of both of their asses and killed them both.
Mm,
They,
okay.
they found the body of her someplace, and
Okay, she the one that they found in a woods or forest preserve or some shit like that.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay.
they found her body, and they haven't found him. But supposedly they had a altercation between she and her fiance. I don't fucking know. They went on a cross country trip. Sounded like a setup to me, but
Mm, mm.
but it's amazing like the level of like how it captures everybody's attention. Like, oh, she's missing. We found her. Like, and look, I'm not trying to minimize what anybody's going through, right? I mean, the family that she's left behind. I mean, that's traumatic for anybody, right? So, I don't want anybody to think that we're being that cold. It's just when you juxtapose it with how black women are treated if they're missing and the lack of attention that's typically given. That's the when people have issues. I think who was it? Joy, one of the sisters on one of these shows recently called it, missing white woman syndrome.
Well, I was about to say that's what it is. Because didn't I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now. If it
Joy Reid.
was no, not Joy Reid. The sister from Columbus that was an activist, and she went missing, and then I think they found her body in the Scioto River or
Right.
near the Scioto River, but literally she was an activist. She did a lot of work with Black Lives Matter, and she was a young sister, like 19 or something like that. And nothing. It was nothing. It got to the point where they literally pressed the news here in Columbus to like, hey, this young lady's
Yeah.
been missing a goddamn month,
Right.
and you motherfuckers ain't said shit. And it turned out that, because she was an activist, they had tape on her and all that other stuff. But it was the fact that literally she was missing a month. No one said shit. And meanwhile, the white girl been missing 3 days, and everybody's like, call the FBI, call everybody,
Right.
get the president down here. Something's going on. There's a white woman missing. And unfortunately, they, like I said, they found that young sister near the Scioto River. And then the story of how she got there, there's some conspiracy theories about that, but it just didn't match up to the fact that, 1 minute you downtown, for Black Lives Matter, and you talking about, social justice, and the next minute you quote unquote have a suicide letter. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been a bunch of that shit, right, going on around the country, like different Black Lives Matter activists and just activists in general popping up dead after some of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not gonna tell me that's not retribution for some of these hillbilly police officers.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna tell me that. Like, that's too convenient. And
Yeah.
people act like this shit's not happening.
Yeah. So it just, I mean, there's multiple layers of, this white woman missing syndrome or whatever Joey Reid said, because it's accurate. It's
Yeah,
accurate.
it's just amazing. Like, because every time it happens, I'm like, I pull the story. I'm like, okay, I said, oh, let me see what's so crazy about this one. Is this like a serial killer, or why is everybody? And it's just some basic motherfucker goes missing or gets killed by somebody that they know, domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and not to say that to minimize that, but it's nothing really that should warrant necessarily like the national media infatuation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I don't
How's it
know.
on? How's it on everybody's news? If this is a woman from North Carolina, how's it on New York's news? How's it on Chicago's news? How's it? You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah.
But it's the image of, this white woman missing. All of a sudden, folks are like, oh, can you believe she's missing? She's so pretty.
Right. Right.
Like, as if you an ugly motherfucker, like nobody gives a fuck if you missing, right? Like, oh, if you ugly, fuck it.
Right.
Shit should have been prettier.
He go, you should have scared the assailant away. I don't know what the fuck is like. What
Right.
the fuck, man? Jesus. So, but yeah, I wish I had when I say I wish I had paid more attention to it, I don't mean it in terms of just focusing on it, but I literally, as soon as I saw it, then I went, another white woman missing. Okay. And I moved on.
Yeah, I mean, I felt the level of compassion. I'm like, okay, that's terrible. Somebody's missing and body's found. I kind of move on at that point. Like, okay, well, I mean, it happens, and sorry the family's going through what they're going through, but to the level of like people acting like it's a true crime story and shit. Like, I mean, there's somebody. I guess there was some couple who on their dash cam, they found this chick's van, and this couple who had been traveling, apparently they realized that they may have recorded this van, and they had enhanced the video. Long story short, the footage shows the van door closing, the back of the van door closing. So everybody was just like, "Oh, it's so creepy," because basically they don't know what was happening at that time based on kind of what's going on now. But it's
Right.
just creepy that the way the door is kind of closing as something's going on. So I don't know. I mean, and don't get me wrong, that level of evil of killing somebody, I guess that's kind of what people are kind of like, oh my gosh, something was happening right at that moment and it's captured on this video. Like, and I guess I get I mean, just the being in the presence of that type of evil, you know what I'm saying? So, uh,
Right. And I understand if it was like in a location where that type of thing has never happened before, there's a level of shock for the community within that location. I just the outrage nationally is what throws me off. It's like, okay, you've never seen a kidnapping before. Okay. And
right,
it's almost the same every time. I think that's what it is. When there's a white woman missing or white person in general missing, the outrage is almost the same as if it has never been done before. That's what it is, and it's
right,
like,
because think
okay,
about all the sisters that go missing on a regular basis in Chicago, or women that go missing into the sex trafficking like on a regular basis.
right,
Uh, I mean, people ain't throwing up the same level of drama as they would with in this case.
yeah. And if they sit there and do a story on it, like there's like within the past couple of weeks, there's been, and I've seen this just on Instagram alone. I've seen one on Twitter. There's like 5 girls in Chicago in the past couple of weeks that come up missing, and if you read like the replies in the tweets, it's all like, well, is she part of a gang? Is she like? There's all these like,
Right,
why can't she just be a victim and someone kidnapped her and we need to find her? Why is it? Well, she lives on the west side, so she must be into gangs and drugs and stuff, and maybe she's not missing. Maybe she ran away. It's
right,
always like, goddamn, okay. Even if she ran away, it's there's her friends haven't heard from her.
right,
Usually when runaways happen, the friends know where they are. The parents may not, but the friends know. And we're talking about girls that the friends like, I ain't talked to her in a week, and we text every day. So come on, man. Like you gotta play it fairly. It's got to go both ways. Kind of like, I mean, this is a good segue, I guess, into this shit at the border. Um, these pics
y'all,
at the border is ridiculous right now.
y'all boy Biden. He,
What?
he basically showing his ass. He almost basically. I mean,
Said, fuck them niggas.
he on some Trump shit. Like,
He said, fuck them niggas. He said, I don't give a shit about Haitians. I got other shit to worry about right now. Niggas ain't wearing masks here. So fuck, that's what he said. I got masks to worry about. Fuck them niggas at the border.
yeah. So, I mean, it just show, and this is what I told folks when Biden was the lesser two evils, but don't get it twisted. He's still a beacon of hope for white supremacy. Don't get it twisted.
Right,
Um,
right.
so I mean, and there's nothing wrong with holding his ass accountable or holding his feet to the fire about his immigration policy, especially when it's folks that look like you and me. You know what I mean? So like,
Well, yeah,
um,
because Kamala's very quiet on this shit right now.
she's quiet on everything right now. So which is I really don't understand. Like only thing I see from her on a regular basis is a tweet talking about everybody go get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
seen honestly I haven't seen shit. And that's disappointing.
do you, yeah, I was about to say, do you think that's her doing or the administration's doing? I mean, I don't give a shit who's doing it is wrong, but I'm saying, do you think that's her going, well, this is a calculated risk. Let this some bitch take all the fucking arrows.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't strike me as the type of person that would be silenced easy, but I mean, she's still the vice president, not the president. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the way I look at it, if it's political, if it's an actual political strategy, sh- she's better served to let him take all the arrows for this shit. So when she runs in 2 years, she go, look, I'm not him, and I would never have done what blah 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 blah. I mean, that's just what politicians do. They jump on and off the boat depending on if it benefits them or not, or they push a motherfucker off the boat to save themselves. So I'm just wondering if this is strategy or if this just the administration going, just fall in line, let he's the boss, blah blah blah. Because this is just weird. The pictures I've seen, the latest pictures I've seen, I'm like, wow, this some shit in a movie.
Right.
Like this some movie shit. Like
Motherfuckers on fucking horses with whips and shit. Like, who the
yeah,
fuck are
man.
you? Like a racist ass Indiana Jones?
Yeah, this is some fucking cowboys and slaves and it just looks unreal. And then, all those people, well, we told you, blah, 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 but you guys were all by. Okay, so first and foremost, uh, it wasn't a we were all Biden type situation. It was like you have to acknowledge the fact that I would rather have someone who's competent enough to know how to do this shit versus a fucking dumb, insane, narcissistic person who had no idea how to run the shit in charge. Plain and simple. I would never hand my keys to a blind man and say drive. So that's the basis to this shit. And
I
that's
think I think it's a fair criticism of Biden. I have no problem with people going in just because it's a risk. We all knew that shit. Like it's a lesson learned for Black folks that you can't just be out here blindly. No, and don't get me wrong. Like I absolutely chose the lesser two evil when it came to Biden. And for me, it was probably a candidate too late. We needed more Supreme Court justices, as you can see with what happened with the abortion shit in Texas. But um, there was a strategic reason why I focused in, and to his credit, Biden is putting a lot of folks on the bench that are civil rights lawyers and minorities, Black women. So that's real life, but he needs to answer for this shit. That's real talk too.
yeah,
So
he has to be able to walk and chew gum. And that's what plain and simple. He's got to be able
uh,
to walk and
it,
chew gum.
he's got to shake this old racist white man shit. Unless that's just who he is, and fuck it, then you got to own that shit, and people just will pull their fucking support, and that's what it's gonna be.
Right.
But of course, I'm surprised Jim Clyburn ain't down there on his own horse, uh, like hopping Bob, like tell these niggas about the gun line.
Wait. I just would like to first off get a that son bitch get a bullhorn. Please, Mr. Border Patrol, can I have 5 minutes here? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if you could all form a single file line.
You're ruining these fine whips. Those are good whip, good hearty whips, and live in a perfectly fine country off the beach.
I mean, I vacation in Haiti all the time, and I don't understand why you want to come here. So, if you could form a single file line, we have cookies and punch, and we have a to-go bag for you with a map to other areas that you may dwell in for the time being. God damn.
I need to Google what Jim Clyburn's comments on the shit. I bet he's quiet, but
Hell yeah, he quiet. He can't say shit.
he don't have no problem saying no dumbass shit on some other shit. Like
Man,
my filter's off on Clyburn.
You could tell my filter been off on Clyburn. I done already got yelled at by elder aunties and shit. I'm just like, well, auntie, you might not want to listen right now, because, yeah, he on some bullshit. He on some don't piss off these white people, please. I just we have certain good white people that let us do what we need to do, and we need their support. So if you could not piss them off and be a good little nigga, I mean, be good supporters of the party, we would greatly appreciate it. Jim fucking Clyburn.
Dude is yeah, fuck it.
Here you go. And please, whatever you do, please don't call Anastasia Ocasio Morticia, or whatever her name is. Please don't call her.
Oh, they was going in on her ass. AOC, you talking about?
Yeah.
They was going in on her at the Met when she said she had that dress talking about tax the rich.
And but like, you so in that dress?
But you at the Met.
He go, why you at the Met is the question.
So I mean, I guess is one of the questions, because so she tried to explain later, and she's trying to be, and I get her point overall, but it is a bad look to be at the Met, right? Walking out with a billionaire talking about tax the rich.
Right.
It's just, it doesn't come across, it doesn't play well. And her point was like, but you know, who we're talking about when we talking about taxing the rich are basically like those, you know, 10 or 15 people that consolidate majority of the wealth in this country, right?
And that's mainly taxing the wealthy. Fuck the rich. That's the wealthy.
All right, so I get her point, but it's still a bad look, AOC. Like,
right.
It's a bad look. You know
there you go. I mean, it's almost as bad as she showed up in some overalls and a hard hat in an old school 1930s lunch pail and shit. You know, either way it go, you're exploiting some shit.
Motherfuckers is on some. I mean, it's just a lot of weird shit going on. Did we ever talk about this new Cinderella movie?
I think we briefly mentioned, because did we mention it because of the guy Billy Porter?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, it's just a wild shit, man. Like, it's crazy as fuck. Like, but I mean, it's so wild. Like, everything's wild. Like, I mean, matter of fact, before we got on, we started talking about. We might as well talk about now. You were talking about. So there's the new debate on social media is, has Drake reached Michael Jackson status, basically?
Yeah. So.
And send Greg off on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
See, this is why yo fucking new generation. See, I mean, goddamn, are y'all bored? Like, do you really want friends that bad that you just like, hey, while we're at it, Drake is better than Michael Jackson? Y'all motherfuckers just start saying dumb shit for no apparent reason. Okay. Let's go ahead and have this goddamn conversation, have this debate. If you're talking popularity, I would question what's the demographic. I know there are a few people our age and maybe a couple of people older that know who Drake is and like his songs. Look, like I said, I know Drake from a goddamn TV show for kids way back in the goddamn day. So he Aubrey.
Not Degrassi.
Hell yeah. So he Degrassi to me first and foremost. But let's just go ahead and say, okay, he's got some tunes. I would question and I would challenge any of you to word for word sing 5 Drake songs. Word for word.
I don't know if you want to issue that challenge. Like, a lot of motherfuckers know a lot of Drake songs.
Okay. Because they all sound the same. So it's the same. It's one long fucking song. It's the same goddamn song. Sorry. I mean, you could say his first album is way different than the shit when he figured out what his formula for success is. His formula for success, he went, oh, I know what I need to do. Okay. Got it. All right.
I would say his new shit, like, if he's writing it, even better. But if whoever's writing this shit, he's got some lyrics on his new shit. I was like, God damn, it's some complicated, intricate shit. Either he's got a world-class ghostwriter or he's developing as a writer.
I hope it's the latter. I really do. I hope it's the latter, because then I can give credit where credit is due on that. But we're talking Michael Jackson, probably as far as the world is concerned, the 6 billion people that exist in the world, probably the most famous entertainer in the history of the world. And we're talking Drake. Yeah, you're like, well, he's streaming a lot. Yeah, okay, that's technology. That's accessibility. That's
It
that's the internet.
it just seems a bit premature, like the conversation. Like I saw the same shit pop up, and it does seem a bit premature. Like he's very famous, doing very well, but it just seems like a bit much to mention him in the same breath as Michael Jackson. Um, you
Yeah,
could, I mean,
I don't know why you would.
you could arguably bring Jay Z into that conversation, but Jay wouldn't even want to be included because it's just different, right?
Yeah.
Hip hop is different than just being a pop artist, but um, I don't know. That's and so real on Twitter. My sister-in-law circulated something because we were having a debate on Saturday night
Hmm.
about who would win in a versus battle between Diddy and Jermaine Dupri based on production, right? Not necessarily just writing, because I know Jermaine Dupri's in the Writers Hall of Fame and all that
Right.
type of shit, but just based on production and tracks that came out of Bad Boy versus So So Def.
Shit, but
Um,
a lot of that was dope fat for Bad Boy. It wasn't necessarily Diddy, but yeah.
right. Oh yeah, whoever it was, like whatever came out of there, but like so they were on Twitter, they did a simulation and somebody arbitrarily put songs up against the other. And I mean, those cases, you know how that can always go. Like, depending on the song you put up against another song, it could win or lose. Just depends on the order. But I
Hmm.
mean, I gotta tell you, like, I had Diddy winning handily. And
Oh,
that's just
yeah.
based on my preference. I mean, but I mean,
Yeah.
because he's got Craig Mack, he's got Mary. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, Biggie alone, I mean, if you talking, let's just say So So Def against Bad Boy, if you talking that, it's not even close. It just really is not even close. So I
but
would
people will
have to
tell
go
you
with
like,
Diddy.
but they'll try and bring out like so that the debate was with my sister in law and wife. They're like, well, but we got Mariah Carey and so so that. I said, you not. I said, yeah, you got a generation of women who were like, oh, Mariah Carey, but niggas don't give a fuck about Mariah Carey other than how she looked, right? And her Christmas album is off the fucking chain. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He, you, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. He loves her Christmas album.
hey, Mariah Carey's Christmas album is off the fucking chain, dog. Like, say what you
Is
want to
it?
say.
Is it? I don't know if you paid attention to the what's the movie? The Whitney movie, the Christmas movie.
Uh,
Preacher's Wife. Is it in that
dog,
realm of?
dude, like Mariah Carey's Christmas album is killing that album. Like whatever you, I mean, I'm not a Mariah Carey fan, but I know music by as Christmas albums go, killing it.
Hmm.
Done deal. Cancel
Okay,
Christmas.
really.
It's a
I gotta
staple in
listen
this
to it.
house. Yep.
All right, okay, okay. I gotta listen to it. I gotta listen to it.
But
Um,
other than that, like that boy killing So So Def. Like, I mean, it's not even close. I mean, people like, well, Debrat, Chris Cross and Bow Wow, like, stop. Like, I
yeah,
mean,
I was about to say that's
don't
not
get me
even.
wrong. At the time, the shit was hot, but you comparing it to fucking Craig Mack and Mary J and 112 and I Biggie and whoever fuck else.
Well, that's what I was about to say. There's a little bit of revisionist history going on for some people when it comes to like the Brad and Chris Cross. I'm gonna tell you right now, those albums, like all of Brad's albums, weren't like number ones. Let's not get it twisted. She had some tracks on there that you'd be like, oh shit. And obviously, when Brad was actually rapping and not trying to play, rapper pop star, and they tried to, make her a sex symbol, to compete with everything that was going on. Um, and you listen to her lyrics, okay, yeah, she had some lyrics, but we're talking one or two songs versus full albums on Bad Boy.
Right.
And it's just not close. Like, good Lord, it's just not close. I can't,
Now,
I
now,
mean,
now, Diddy was like, he want to battle Dre. Now, that's a battle. Like, and honestly, I think Dre
wait,
might wipe the floor with him. Like,
wait, Diddy wants to battle
now,
Dre
Dr. Dre.
I don't think he wants to do
He don't
that.
want them problems, dog.
That's I had to make sure I heard you correctly.
Because
Nah,
Dre going back to NWA, he going to Death Row, then he going to Aftermath.
50's first album.
Yeah, 50 M, like
you don't want them
Chronic.
problems.
I mean, Snoop, like what the fuck, man?
Put it this way: the Chronic alone beats out majority of Bad Boy.
And Tupac's double. I mean, come on, man. Like that's not even a debate.
And Dre, that's what I'm saying. Dre did that shit himself. Like that's not. Right. Yeah, he didn't have a team of motherfuckers like Diddy had. Diddy had a team. Right. Diddy would literally walk into a room and sit there and put out like, all right, this 50 grand to the one who give me the best track. You know, like Dre was sitting in his basement, like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Hey Snoop, do me a favor. I just need some type of vocals. I want to see where this damn track go. That type of shit that you can't. No, you don't want to battle Dre. Sorry, Diddy.
We'll have to save that. We're going to have to put together a versus episode. Just go through all this shit with and bring some of the friends of the show back and kind of go in. That'd be a good hit. It's good. We're due for a hip hop show, so maybe that'll be next week.
Yeah,
we're due. It's time.
So, yeah, because he wants to battle Dre.
Yeah, you don't want the problems. You don't want them problems, big fella.
You don't fucking want them problems. Like that's when you know your ego is definitely like.
Oh yeah, Puffy feeling himself. I mean, he's been feeling himself, but you know, whatever. So, but shit, we've been going for a little bit, dog. Like I know I had one what the fuck coming up. I know we kind of the folks are probably listening like, oh, they kind of did different. We didn't really do a different format. We just want to kind of chop it up today, like get back to kind of our roots a little bit and just have some fun. Hopefully, y'all had some fun. But shit, I'll defer to you, and then I got a what the fuck just I read before I got on the show today.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna send this over to you so we can put it on the website. But so my what the fuck. Texas restaurant kicks out family for wearing masks to protect immune compromised 4-month-old. So this says a Texas restaurant manager has defended himself after throwing out a family because they were wearing masks to protect their at-risk baby. The Wester family told the CBS affiliate in Dallas-Fort Worth that they headed to Hang Time. That's the name of the restaurant. And maybe I'm saying this wrong. Folks in Texas, let me know. Roulette. I guess that's Roulette. So Roulette last week with mom Natalie saying, if you ever been new parents, having those couple of hours out like once or twice a month is so important for your mental health. The parents are both fully vaccinated, but wear masks indoors to help protect their immune-compromised 4-month-old. Natalie went on to say, our waitress came over, sat down next to me and said, our manager told me to come over because I'm nicer than he is. But this is political and I need you to take your mask off. Tom, the owner of Hang Time, confirmed the family was thrown out because they were wearing masks, saying, I spent my money on this business, my blood, sweat, and tears in this business, and I don't want masks in here.
Wait, what? Do y'all know how stupid y'all sound? Like, think about that for a second. Like, not like, I don't want you pissing on my floor, or I don't want you smoking that cigarette in here because it's gonna bother people, or nobody likes to smell a piss.
Right.
But no, like a mask which isn't affecting anybody, like literally not affect, like the definition of not affecting you, because the job of the mask is so they don't affect you.
Right. And in the hypocrisy behind this is all the people that's supporting Tom, they're like, that's right. That's his private business. He has a right to do what he wants. Are the same people that was that was telling the other private business folks for throwing them out for not wearing a mask. They can't fucking do that.
But you've got a legitimate reason to kick people out for not having a mask. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like, if somebody's got something, they give it to other people, that damages your potential customer base. Like you motherfuckers are strange as hell. Y'all not gonna get me roped into this conversation today, but you motherfuckers are dumb as shit. Like I'm so tired of these dumbass rationale and this reasoning and this fake ass logic that people are trying to apply. Like, oh, I'm entitled. You are entitled to do what you want, but you're also not entitled to endanger more people.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole today.
Yeah, I just thought that was a real what the fuck. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Definitely
I
what
don't
the
want to
fuck.
see Mask in here. I my blood, sweat, and tears
Hope
go in
his
this business.
fuck that. I hope his business fails. Stop. Everybody stop going there. What's the name of his shit? Talk shit
Hang
about
time,
hang time in what city?
roulette, roulette.
All our Texas people, fuck hang time and roulette or whatever the fuck it is. Sorry. Um, like real talk. Like don't go to that place. As a matter of fact, stand outside that place and just with masks on, surround the place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just the dumbest fucking thing. You oh, do you have cameras? Are you like recording for a fucking like TV show, a reality show or some shit? Who sees the woman wear the mask other than you
Right.
and the other
And
people
you literally don't
enjoying
have
their
to.
meal?
You literally don't have to look.
Yeah,
Like it's like me having a conversation with my 3-year-old. 3-year-old be getting mad, like, stop looking at me. I'm like, dude, stop looking at them, looking at you.
right, right,
Like
right.
y'all sound ridiculous. So fuck it. These people, they're the
Clearly, you
worst.
don't want money. That just don't make no
Right.
sense.
That
This
make any
person's
sense.
giving, she's patronizing your establishment. She's giving you money. She's providing you the living that you like, and you like what she's got on the mask. I don't like mask money.
Right.
Mask money is dirty
Your
money.
dumbass. Do they have a name of the owner?
It just said Tom. I'm trying to see if they put his last name. Probably not.
So we can blow his fucking spot up. Hashtag his ass. But
His name is Tom.
all right, fuck you, Tom.
And your dumbass hang time.
With your bitch ass. Anyway. So
Well, I would just like to say, Tom, that I've patronized your establishment several times in my
and
travels.
I'd never wear a mask.
And I will tell you right now, as long as I'm in your establishment, that I will never wear a mask. As long as you have some collard greens and some other things that I might partake of.
Some pork rinds and ribs.
You got to have the short rib. if you have short rib and ham hocks, I'll be there.
You weird motherfucker, like just short ribs. God damn. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
So all right. So my what the fuck is, so this is actually in Columbus a day ago.
Okay.
So recently there's a crew of football referees at a high school game here in Ohio, Grove City High School and Central Crossing High School.
Okay.
Basically, during the game, the referees made a controversial call and flagged an assistant coach for unsportsmanlike conduct. Okay. So after the game ended, the crew was inside the locker room being evaluated on their performance when it turns out the door to the locker room to get out that they were trying to get out was barricaded outside with a vending machine. So motherfuckers were so mad. They were so mad about this call. This is how serious to take football in Ohio. Like Texas would understand this too. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They barricaded the referees, locked them in a fucking closet, basically, using a vending machine. So they don't know who it was yet. So they're investigating, but the referees are pressing charges and they're going to file suit. But they've engaged the Grove City Police Department to figure out what's going on. It's one of two things. It's one of three things actually. It's either some students who are like, "Fuck these guys," or it was the coach, or it was some mad, pissed off parents. I don't know who, but that's fucked up. Like, for y'all that serious about it that you're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna put this vending machine in front of this door so these motherfuckers can't go nowhere."
And if you motherfuckers don't know how heavy vending machines are, you tip that bitch over, it will kill you.
Right.
Them shits is heavy as fuck. So that's funny.
That's all I wanted to share. So fuck, hey, good time today, man. I'll go ahead and let you close it out. Go ahead and let them know what they need to let them know. Greg, we out this bitch.
Hey, first before we do that, we had, I'm not trying to end on a sad note, But we had a couple of passings this past week, and AJ Johnson, comedian AJ Johnson, just passed yesterday. So
Ezel.
Ezel from Friday, y'all. Like seriously. So I mean, if you grew up watching, I mean that's my college right there. That's my college years. I remember when Friday came out and all of us going to see it and everything like that. So we want to send our condolences to his family, and then a member of LaBelle, Patty LaBelle's group back when she was younger. What's her name is escaping me. Her last name, Sarah. It'll come to me. But she also passed away the other day, and so condolences, obviously, to her family as well. So, folks is leaving, and
On
it's
that
not
note,
necessarily it's not necessarily COVID. Some of your favorite stars are starting to check out. So I just like I said,
hey,
the
give
AJ,
people their flowers when they're here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
that's just a reminder to y'all to give people their flowers. When they hear, because that type of stuff, you go, what the hell, AJ Johnson? He wasn't that old.
right, real
Doesn't,
talk.
yeah, so it doesn't really matter. But now we can go ahead and close out. Unless you got
Thanks.
something to lighten it up. I'm sorry.
I got nothing to line it up. Just fucking go out on that note. Shit.
Uh, all right. As always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We are the All Out of Fucks podcast. And guess what? We on Apple. We on Spotify. We on SoundCloud. We on Stitcher. We on Lipson. We on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Audible. And select episodes are on YouTube. And we're all out of fucks.
We all out. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.